what's up, guys and girls? It's RichManZ back yet again. And today I'm joined by a very special guest, an amigo from me coming on the way. You know, when I was back in UK, you know, we actually met in the fitness. You know, we were both like working as personal trainers, you know, and it's like we developed like a big friendship because we had like kind of the similar interest and like what we envisioned of doing, you know, as a career, you know, and we say. So without much further ado, I would like to introduce, I call her Lily, but nilufer Mehmet. You know, let's give a round of applause for that. How are you doing, girl?
Hi. Yeah, no, I'm really well, Richard. It's so nice to see you again. I haven't seen this guy for a long time. I think it's been maybe 2 or 3 years now, but we've known each other for a while.
Yeah.
We met in the kickboxing gym, I believe.
Yes.
Energy Fitness, that was it. We met.
That was it. Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness, that's going back.
Yeah. Oh man, we're gonna get onto that, you know what I mean? But it's like, yeah, when I still remember the day we met because I think it was like 2018. So this time, 2018, wow. You know, we were like the new kind of recruits, you know, to go inside to the gym. You know, and it's like I remember we had to do like those trials, you know, to kind of get, you know, into there.
Oh my goodness.
You know, and I remember like when we were coming in there, it's like because we got through, and then we had like a lot of how can I say, problems with the one who is in charge and that, you know. But yeah, no, we were both like on the floor. We had our clients and all that. But we're gonna get into that a little more thing. But first, Lily, if you can, let the audience know a bit of like your background. You know, to like what, like even when I met you to like, you know, now in this current time, I'm going to give you the floor. Yeah.
Okay. So, I was in the fitness industry up until about 3 or 4 months ago. So my passion has always been in fitness. When I first started, I was doing boxing. I had a coach and long distance running. And then I slowly went into weight training. And once I discovered weight training, my mind just expanded so much, and it really helped me, you know, grow mentally. I was more doing it for my mental state at the time. And then watching, seeing my body actually move, it was like, you know, sculpting your body and your mind all together in one. And the thing is with fitness is that you always continue to grow and you always continue to learn. So it puts you in an environment of feeling very humble, and you're always a student. You're forever a student. There's always things to expand on. So I went through my own journey of working through different gyms and then finally making my way to Central London.
Yeah.
So when I was working in Central London, I started to incorporate more of my intuition. My spiritual awareness was definitely heightening the more I was getting deeper into my own personal training. And the spiritual side of my life has always run through me very deep, and it runs through my mother's side of the family. Then once we started to get through the lockdowns, I was pushed so much into my own darkness that I actually found so much light within myself. So which brings me to my journey today, and I am actually a spiritual teacher. I'm a spiritual coach. I do Akashic record clearings. I work with energy, and I'm also a tarot reader. And these are the things I've been doing on the side, but I never actually told people about it because it was something that I just needed to repurpose within myself. I feel like when you're in a career, it becomes your identity. So I had to go through that whole, you know, identity and ego death of allowing it to just pass.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I'm glad you said that. A lot of the stuff, like as you are, like, you know, doing the spiritual and teaching, you know, a lot of stuff you're trying to get off the ground. I found out if you start telling people like you're gonna do this and that, they always just want to see the end product. You know what I mean? They always just wanted to see the results, you know. So it's kind of good, like you were already doing it, and now especially where the way things happened last year, you know, lockdown, spending more time alone, you know, being by yourself. You had time to really push it on.
Yeah, go into it.
Really, you know, so it's great, you know. So like with the what like as you mentioned, you know, so like you were doing this on the side, you know, what really like attracted you, you know, to go on this kind of path of being like a spiritual teacher, you know?
So the thing that triggered it was when we was in the lockdown, I
Right.
was doing online training. So I was
Yes.
literally with a laptop, and I'm training these people, and I'm thinking, okay, they're going through a lot of trauma right now.
Yeah.
You know,
Uncertainty. Yeah.
yes, yeah. You know, having to face their own shadows, and my inner guidance, my inner intuition was just switching on so intensely, and I found that a lot of the sessions actually were shifting from a workout session over to a therapy session.
Right.
Yeah.
You just transferred over.
Yeah, and you know, honestly, I'm not mad about it.
Yeah.
You know, when you've met me from the beginning, you've
Of
always said
course.
like I'm like a life coach. Like,
Yes.
I
It's
can,
true. There was a lot of times I needed like you know, inspiration, you know, and it's like we used to bounce, you know, like different, you know, ideas, and you know, it's
yeah, we
very
did.
helpful. So
Yeah. We've always been me and Richard, like we've always been focused on not where we are now, but where we want to go.
yes.
And you know, even if you feel that you may not have all the resources or all the tools, it's taking account for what you do have and doing the best with what you have at that moment in time.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that's something we've been blessed with.
Yeah, no, and it's so fascinating because there is a lot of people when that happened, because it's traumatic. You know, some people the effects of the COVID hit more people harder than others. You know, so just having that kind of one-to-one session, you know, because it's personal. You know, as personal training, the big part of it is personal. If you can have someone to talk to and still can say like, you know, remain positive, still, you know, keep on going, you know, this is not the, you know, the end, this is just time to get down, and anything you've got going, you know, you want to get done, you know, now's the time to push that, you know, make that your purpose, you know. So it's always good when you got someone to kind of reinforce that, saying yes, you can do it, you know, as like the encouragement.
Yeah, and I do think as well with personal training is that we automatically like realize, you know, it's part of our job to realize that what you want is not going to come like that. We automatically look at the bigger picture. So when these lockdowns happened, we automatically put ourselves in the situation of, okay, what can we do over the long term? Whereas I felt that in society, a lot of people were kind of counting down for the next day and the next day to pass, like, oh, when are we going to come out, when are we going to come out? And I found that, you know, actually just having radical acceptance of where we are now, rather than thinking, okay, when are we going to get out of this? Because
when are things going to go back to normal? Sorry to cut you off, but
it's going to take a while.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to take a while.
Oh, yeah. This is they call it like the new normal. You know, this is basically
it's
the world.
Great reset.
Yeah, it's a reset. You know, get used to wearing masks, you know, sanitizing, social distancing, all of that. You know, we just have to get used to it. You know, and so like with that, like, and now if we just like backtrack to like the personal training. So you know, we mentioned at the beginning that's where we, you know, first met. You know, we had already worked in like, you know, gyms before that. You know, it's like we've done our own, you know, different, like Lily came from like, you know, she was doing the boxing and she's also like a sprinter. You know, I used to play football, like, or soccer, if you want to say, like way back in the day. And it was only like around like 2015, 2016. That's when I got into like the gym instructor and personal training. But now, especially the way things are and that, you know, and you were already doing your Zoom sessions, you know, training your clients online with like training people in the gym, you know, like the traditional way, like you go in there, you know, you pay rent, you hunt down your clients. You know, do you think that thing is now like kind of passe? Like it's now, you know, like to do this now in this modern day? What do you think of that?
Yeah, I do. And actually, that was one of the reasons why I was like, right, I need to check out.
We need to bounce.
Yeah, I was like, I need to, this
Yeah,
is the time to go.
I swear.
Yeah, definitely. Like when I went back, it was a real shock to the
Yeah,
system. I
yeah, yeah,
remember everyone was, well, you know, every gym's totally different and
yeah.
every narrative is different. But for what I was seeing was that people were struggling.
Oh,
You
big
know,
time.
a lot of people had left London. They had to pack up quickly and just get the hell out of there, because so many people lost their jobs. And obviously, personal training is a luxury
Yes.
essentially at the end of the day. You know,
Hmm.
your home, your food, your water, that all comes first. Personal training is like way at the bottom of the list.
Oh,
So we were the first ones to just get cut
yeah,
like straight
yeah,
away.
yeah, yeah.
um I was lucky. I had, you know, quite a few loyal clients, but
Right.
obviously in the long run there's only so long that they could continue on being
Sustain
on
it. Yeah.
furlough,
Mm,
yeah, and stuff
yeah.
like that. So but in terms of how it is now, I'm not really sure because I've stepped out. So do you have
Yeah.
any perspective on how it is now?
Hmm. It's this similar situation happened with me last year. I was in Canada when the lockdown came, so when the COVID
Mm-hmm.
spread out, I was
Yeah.
teaching my classes, then the gym just closed down. So
Mm.
lost my classes, lost my clients, lost all that. So immediately I had to take, because I had no job, still got to pay rent, still got
Mm-hmm.
to pay those bills, so it's like I had to go into temp work, just
Mm-hmm.
like I had to legit, just like, remember we've done stuff like, what was it, Mint, like the agency,
Oh, the event work
the
industry.
event work. And the thing was, what happened was when the lockdown got reinforced, the event work slowly came to more of like, it was temp work, but more like on sites. So you could go
Mm.
to buildings and you could go to residential and you just were kind of like a handyman,
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I used to go in there, I used to sometimes paint, the walls. You
Oh,
understand? Honestly, I
really?
swear. But it was like because I so badly didn't want to kind of stop the momentum. It's like
Yeah.
everyone, when this happened, they just stopped working. I was like, no, 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 I still gotta, keep it up. I can't give up.
Yeah.
So I just
Mhm.
kept on going out. And from
Yeah.
there, it's like it really went all the way around because I was doing that, I was able to kind of focus on my business as
Mm-hmm.
well, like doing videos. It's like now I teach English online. So I work
Mm-hmm.
as an English teacher online. And it's because that time away of not being in the like gym environment,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like not too much distraction. I was able to kind of do my work and then have
Yeah.
time to focus on my
Like
business.
purpose and your
Yeah,
mission.
exactly. So
Yeah.
I went away from the gym last year, 2020. I was
Yeah.
gone,
He was out.
Trust me, you know what I mean? But but I think, it's helped, you know what I mean? It's like you said, some things
Yeah,
are like
massively.
it's a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We learned so much. Like we learned how to hunt, and you find how to like
Yes.
stand on your own 2 feet.
Oh my
And
God.
that's one thing. Like I'm
Yeah.
so glad that I did it. Like I remember when I
Yes.
first started, I felt like I just got dropped in the ocean. When I first started, I was like, so is anybody going to help me? Like get any clients? Like is there leads? Because back in the day, when
Yeah.
I was studying to do my course, some gyms were like, yeah, we'll give you leads. You know, you can do like taster sessions,
Yeah.
and you know that. When
They
I got
kind of
to
just
London, I was
get
like,
you in that jam, that gist of it, like we're gonna
yeah,
help you, we'll shadow you, all of this. They use all these, they
the
don't do
business
nothing.
classes. Do you remember all that? Like we'll do a business program.
Yeah.
And
Honestly,
yeah,
we had to
yeah.
learn the hard way. Like, it legit is kind of like, like the gym we met, it wasn't like, I've been in gyms like, Fitness First that used to be, back in the day, and that was like a jungle. It was
Mm.
legit the strongest survive.
Hmm.
So it's like you could turn your back and someone's already talking to like a client that you probably just spoke to like maybe 5 minutes ago.
I'm actually laughing. That was so funny.
It's the truth. It's the
Or you
truth.
know when
Yeah, tell me.
you went to go and like book a taster in, and you could see the other feces looking at you like, I've already booked her, and you're
All
like,
right.
or the clients like saying to you like, can I book you in for a taster, and you
Yeah.
just don't tell them. That was hilarious.
Oh,
Oh, I actually remember I did that on my first day as
Yeah,
well. So
honestly, it's really it's very cutthroat. Do you feel that like the personal training?
I
Yeah.
do. I do, but then as I went through it, I was thinking this is very exhausting on the
Yeah.
mental. So I started to like shift my perspective and change it to that we was all working together.
As a
I
team.
started to recognize in other PTs their strengths and weaknesses, and what we all had different things that we
Yes.
specified in.
Yeah.
So if I had a client who wanted to say practice their skills for like rehab or netball or something, I would know where to direct them and vice versa. So
Mhm.
we kind of got on that wavelength of passing
Yeah.
clients and
Yeah.
communicating in that way.
Yeah,
So that's all I
it's what I had like the specialities, like each trainer, even though we're all personal trainers, we all had different like skill sets that
yeah.
we would bring, to the
Mm.
table. So like, and I even noticed this like when you because Nilufer actually left before me, like I came in one day and
Right? Oh, I remember that.
I remember the day when you told me, it's like I bet you did YouTube, and I was like, oh. And then when it happened to me, I was like, it makes sense. It makes
I
sense,
think
But I
I remember
saw, but let me get this in. Yeah, I
learn.
saw this like the clients who were training with you, when you left and they started training with the rest of the ones who were still there. I could sometimes see, because I was on the gym floor, I could see that they weren't so engaged in the sessions as they
Yeah.
were when you. And this is the honest truth. They were not as like, oh, I'm ready to train. This is going to be a great session. It's going to be fabulous. They did not have that when the other trainers in there,
Yeah. Well, that just goes to show, we can all be good at the same thing,
Yeah.
but we all have our own unique blueprint,
Yes.
our own specific skills. We all had a different experience, and yeah, there's so many factors that play in to finding your own unique client base.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was another thing that we learned. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I actually forgot about that.
That is,
That was a bit of a
yeah.
that was a spark.
Oh
A
my God.
sparker.
Yeah, there was no story. And I'll go on to this and that. Like when the gym we were there, so it's from like 2018 to like 2019. It was like we were there like it's like anywhere between like 4, to 6 months, around that period. Like the issue at our gym is like the guy who was on top didn't really, and I'm saying this out now, he didn't really have the like people skills, to be in a managerial
Yeah,
position,
I think that's the right.
this wasn't just something
Yeah.
coming from the trainers, even the members who were coming in, they were commonly coming to me, who was on the floor, the other trainers, and saying like, what's up with this dude,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Well, actually, yeah, that's something to talk about, is that the guy who actually opened the gym
yeah,
had no passion for
yes,
fitness. He had no experience in the personal training or fitness
yeah,
industry.
yeah,
So it really come across in his business, from the manager, from the people that he was hiring, just and the people that were actually joining the gym. It all has like a domino effect,
yeah,
because his his way of thinking wasn't that fitness is first. It was about the money, and that's where just everything went wrong.
yeah.
Which is another thing to remember, to always focus on the purpose rather than the money, and then the money will come after the purpose.
Yeah, you even mentioned this about like some of your clients thinking of like the day to day. They're not thinking of the long term. I honestly, the one who was on top, he never really had a long term plan. It was just short goals. Like one of the things that really made me like get like angry was he will, like the trainers like around that period. So this was like from like just coming into spring. So we finished like the winter and going into spring. Trainers were just dropping off like quickly. You know what I mean? I was one of them. Lily was one of them. It's like they were just kept on going up. And what I really just found, like, I was just so kind of pissed, is he was like, it's, you know, it's no big deal, you know, they're replaceable, you know. And I was just looking at that, I was like, man, so I really have no value here, you know, because I could do everything right, you know, I could have clients and that, but you're saying if I don't kind of go with the, the flow, I'm replaceable. And I was just like, yeah, it did, even before the lockdown, it did kind of get the wheels start turning. I was like, man, I really need to really crack down on my own business, because no one is safe, you know.
Yeah.
You know, trust me.
This is the thing with these lockdowns. It has really pushed people into realizing what their purpose is, which I'm so grateful for. Is it glitching, or is it slowed down?
No, it's still there. It was perfect. Still fine.
But yeah, so yeah, it's really pushed other people into their purpose. And even though this is making us feel like, you know, they're in a lot of ways we're having our freedom stripped away from us, but what it's doing is it's actually setting us free. It's liberating us at the same time. We've always been, you know, in a way subconsciously controlled by many things, and this has really opened our eyes into realizing, okay, that's had control over me for way too long. You know, it's time to reclaim and step back into your power.
Exactly, you know, because again, that was beautiful. Just what you said, like, about like the power, you know, a lot of people, not even just working in like the fitness industry, or like, you know, going that, you know, the systematic like 9-to-5 job, they're so like heavily reliant and dependent on like the pay at the end of the month, or like, you know, when, you know, pretty much mostly it's like the end of the month every 2 weeks. And that, because of that, I think they let a lot of stuff slide in front of them. You know, they won't sometimes, you know, sometimes you want to stand up, you know, to your boss and just be like, nah, this is BS. You know, you know, everyone's saying this, you know, and you know what I mean? You get to a point and no, I'm not going to take this anymore. But then you think about like, oh, I still got to pay my bills. I got to pay my car insurance, you know, I got, you know,
all of this, you know, you go to work, you come home, you switch on the television, and you do this and you do that, and then before you know it, you've got to wake up in the morning, and it just keeps going round and round and round and round. So this still is a perfect time to continue working on yourself and set yourself free for the future, because this great reset will create a massive split between you know, the hierarchies and the classes, you know, so the upper class and lower class. And it's really time to like nail down into where you want to go.
You really got to get into like you know, I call it like a business mindset. That's the difference, honestly. Like when we met, I wasn't thinking as a business. You know, it was like, just like, I go get this money, you know, I pay off my stuff. Then, as you said, by the end of the day, you know, you start watching Netflix, you gotta go to bed, and the next morning, you know, it's the same thing, you know. So it's like with not everything that's, you know, happened, especially last year. It's like, I think more of a business now, you know, branding, you know, marketing, and the main thing of all of it is improving areas that, you know, you need to improve, like just being kind of more self-aware. You know what I mean? So,
Definitely, it has done that. So there's positive aspects and bad ones.
You know, there's pros and cons, you know, people that
you do have to go into the darkness to find the light.
Yes.
That's one thing I've learned on this journey, like, and you need time as well. You know, I've been doing so much shadow work, and it takes time. It takes a lot of time to do healing, and it's not a case of just going in and out for a weekend and then you're back to work and you're okay. You've got to honor your system, the body, you know, listening to source, our creator, letting, you know, the signs and the intuition to flow through you. And sometimes that intuition is telling you to stop and slow down and just be still. So that's one thing that a lot of us need to still integrate. To slow down and look at the bigger picture, and that everything
you know,
is working out the way it should be.
yeah, you know, things happen for a reason. You know, we always talk about that, you know, like you know, or not even just like, you know, the way the lockdown, but like, you know, this can even be like with you know, relationships that didn't work out, jobs that you never went, you know, as far, you know, even like friends, you know, family, you know, I just believe everything's on a reason. But as long as you have your kind of purpose that you're sticking to, and like you're at least contributing to that, like, you know, as many hours that's necessary in the week, that will always be there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's you know, your purpose is reflecting your soul. So another thing as well with that is that to surrender to the ever changing parts of you. You know, I think in society we've grown up that you should have one career and stick to that and you always do that. And I've always felt that doesn't fit with me at all.
We had
You know?
conversations. Me and when we were in the gym, I was telling her like, and I know she did this. We were in the studio, I think just in between classes, and I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna go Miami. I'm gonna go Florida. I want to do something in my life. YOLO." It's for you.
I remember that.
But we were on that same page. We were like, "Look, we are only on this planet once. As far as I know, we only got one chance on this. You know, we gotta make the best of it." You know, and it's like we want to really like become the best versions of ourselves and like kind of live life on sort of like our own terms, you know, because we put a high amount of work. You know, people don't know how hard Lily was in the gym, you know, the amount of clients back to back to back from the day all the way to the evening, you know. So it's like we put the hours, we dedicate ourselves, and we're also self-improving. So, you know, we don't need to stick to the formulaic way of life, you know?
Yeah. It definitely pushed us to just go and get after it. You know, that was one thing that I learned with personal training. Even though we grafted, if you need to say you need to sleep and your body's telling you no, you can just reschedule, because that was another thing that I really enjoyed with it, is that you haven't got someone on your back saying get your ass into work, because no, when you are your own business, then you have to come first. That was another thing as well. Sometimes it didn't come first and you have to check yourself in and be like, hey, you haven't sat down for a minute, so let's sort that out. Yeah.
No, it's taking that time off to because when and I found this now, especially me being over here, you know, most all the work I do is like now, you know, myself, you know, I mean, it's like, you know, people, I have like that value that I didn't have before, you know, I got that now, you know. So I always get into the problem. It's like big problem is I sometimes overwork now, because I'm like, this is me, I gotta make it work. And there'll be sometimes like even before like I go to sleep, you know, I'll crash and I'm like, you know, well, I woke up, I'm like, what happened? You know, because I kind of went overboard, you know. You know, sometimes I should just be like, you know, take it, as you said, reschedule your clients if you need to. Sometimes if you just need to take a breather, you know, it's cool to do that.
I think it's because I feel like I'm going through a similar thing at the moment, with shifting all of my business over to Instagram. So that was a really big shift for me. That was huge.
Monumental.
You know, from being such a physical person, everything like from 7 o'clock in the morning, and sometimes I wouldn't get home till like 1 o'clock at night.
I remember.
But going over to Instagram, it's been wild, because it's like, so you do your work, but also you have to bear in mind that you need to take a step back so that what you're actually putting out has purpose. But then in the back of my mind, I'm thinking the other side of the world is awake right now. So let me just do one more thing. And I'm thinking, hold on, you've got to stop here, because you're going to burn yourself out. But purpose is really important with doing this work, you know. From some things that I've been listening to and doing my own research, is that it's similar to personal training, really. Just because you do more doesn't mean it's more effective. You know, doing that one more set or that one more rep is not actually scientifically gonna create more growth. It's actually
Yes.
gonna be detrimental,
Yeah.
and you can do, overtrain
It's
yourself.
like working smarter instead of working harder,
Exactly,
Mm.
exactly.
Mm.
So are you teaching English right now?
Yeah. So I've been teaching English
Wow.
since this year. I came to Mexico. I just said, you know what? Let me give it a shot. I love English. Obviously, I love to talk. So as you noticed, as I said, let me just give it a shot. And it's like I did like a demo. I just said who I am. My skills, my experience. I told that I have been in the fitness industry, so I'm good with interactivity. And then I got the position, and it's when I got that I was like, okay, I've got control now. I was like, I got that control, so I can manage because I had a class, just before this 2 hours before, and it's like I can slot it in, I can book clients, so it's like I'm more control of my destiny, rather than anything.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just got to get used to like moving more efficiently, haven't we?
Yeah. It's at that time, when I was at the gym, I had a job on the side. I was on the retail, so I remember like Central London. I was coming from Central London all the way down to what was it, Docklands. So like, that area, and even that, I remember sitting on the train, I was just like, oh my God, I gotta go teach this class. How am I gonna do this? And I would get in and I would just like, push myself to kind of do it, but I was shattered.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember a point actually. I had a very similar thing to that. I think we was doing it at the same time. We both had two jobs.
Yeah, I remember you at the kickboxing. Yeah, gym, and you met.
I think was that after.
Or was that before? I remember. I'm trying to remember the time. There's a timeline from when greatness met, when both greatness met. But we were on the mad grind, like yeah.
Like so, okay. So this was insane, and I vowed to myself I will never do that ever again to myself.
Yeah.
I actually felt like I was aging so quickly. I was like, wow, I feel like I've aged like 2 years. So basically, what I was doing was I got a job at the kickboxing gym to just take up some time whilst I was building up my clients again at the gym.
Yeah.
So they were on opposite sides of London. I was getting up at like 5 o'clock in the morning, teaching kickboxing till I think it was about till 12. I would go home, and because I was so tired, I did this, like I set my alarm for only half an hour.
Oh man.
I would literally get in, shut my door, fall asleep, boom. And let me tell you, Richard, when I hit the freaking pillow, I was out. Like I would go into the deepest sleep, half an hour, bang, wake up, head over to the gym. And sometimes I'd be doing a shift to like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. And then I was like, what? That one cut deep.
It's almost, oh man, that one, it's almost robotic, like you gotta just go off and just like wake up, and even if your body's not even like in that, you gotta go do it,
like 3 coffees down, like, why are you smiling?
Yeah.
Keep a smile on.
Like, no way. See, I used to sometimes
rolling down your eye.
I used to sometimes wear glasses, when I went to like my other job in the morning. I said, you don't want to see my eyes.
Yeah, I swear I've had a few days where I was just like putting my cap on. I was like,
just to kind of conceal, because you were like, you are on the thing. But did you find that like as you said, like, it's like you have to go through darkness to see the lightness on the other side. Do you think that I think the people who like actually become like successful, because you can basically say like with us now, we're doing our own business, we're working on our own time now. Do you think, as you said, do you think like people who really need to get into that position of like, success, entrepreneurship, work by themselves, they have to go through that or not? What do you think?
Ooh.
You got to you got to fall down to, and get yourself.
I do. But then I've realized actually that it also comes down to how your childhood was and your upbringing.
Right.
So let's say someone who was brought up in a family where they learned how to manage their finances. They were built up in a supporting family, so they really fully believed in themselves.
Right.
Maybe they would have a better start to whereas someone who didn't.
Yeah.
But then in the same breath as I'm saying that, for example, for me, I feel like when I went into working for myself in the self-employment industry, I feel like my soul knew that I needed to relearn
Right.
how my ancestry had always done things. So I really did completely change everything about how I looked at money, how I communicated, how to manage myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, you do definitely have to put yourself through the ringer. And I find that
Yes.
when you have your own business,
Yeah.
your own insecurities are reflected straight back into the business. Like if you are tired, if you have lower confidence or self-esteem,
Yeah.
it will affect your client straight away. Not so much your client, but it will affect you picking up clients.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's all, everything's all energy work. It's all energy work.
Yeah, and we were at Energy Fitness, no pun intended.
Yeah, we did.
Just had to put
So what
it.
do you think then? Do you feel like when you're starting you need to go through?
Yeah, this is like speaking on like my background and where I came. I am pretty much the first one who's broken from tradition. Like my family and even the generation before, it was just go finish their studies, get their job, get married, and get their
Mm-hmm.
house. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it was a very like a limited, they weren't trying to like break out,
Mm-hmm.
so even me now being in Mexico, like none of like none of like even like family, friends and that, none of them have even thought about like coming to this
Yeah,
side, so
yeah.
a lot of them yeah, but because of that, because I went that way, it's like I had like a lot of like critics,
Mm-hmm.
from like, family, friends, or just even just people who didn't know me, because they just didn't understand like why you want to go this way with your
Mm-hmm.
life where you can sit with the the
Yeah,
normal way, so it was a
yeah,
lot of like yeah, I had to fall down a lot,
yeah, yeah.
it was tough, and having those conversations with you that time when we met, it's like I saw someone in that similar kind of path who was trying to do something different, and
Mm-hmm.
something like more, and it's like I could relate, because it's very hard. I'm taking to the audience now, it's very hard when you're doing this stuff by yourself. No one kind of
Mm.
gets you, and you still gotta like, I'm not gonna give up. I just gotta stick with it. So you gotta
Mm-hmm.
always have that. It's cool when you can have someone who's similar and is also motivating you.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I actually remember us having some conversations in London,
Yeah.
and we had some hard times there. But yeah, growing up, I think even still now,
Yeah.
people are still kind of stuck in that loop in thinking that income should only be from one source,
Source.
you know, and it doesn't have to be that way. And I tell people a lot of the time that it doesn't have to come from one way.
Yeah.
Prosperity and abundance is a mindset, and there's an infinite of ways of abundance to come through you, not only through money but through sharing love and
Yeah.
friendship and food and celebrating and everything. Prosperity is literally like a lifestyle, to be happy for yourself and for the people that you love. But um even for me, like when I was growing up, my family were very confused about why I would want to be a personal trainer.
Right.
um my dad's side of the family, especially, were, when I was growing up, were very strict, and it was very like get into an office and sit down. So when I was a PT, yeah, I didn't really mention it too much because I couldn't be dealing with all the naysayers when on top of
Yeah.
everything else you're trying to manage your own business. But
Exactly.
no, you just have to keep going, because I remember there were moments where I was like, do you know what? I'm just going to give up.
Yeah.
But you can't even give up because your soul's like, no, we don't even want to pretend that. I would rather go through hell and do something that I love
Yeah.
than pretend that I'm okay doing something that I
Yeah.
absolutely hate.
It's a fake. It's a fakeness, you know. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's draining of the life force.
Yeah.
That's something I realized as well.
You know.
That will creep
Yeah.
out you real quick.
And I'll even add to this. Did you find it, because as I said, when I knew you were on like that same wavelength, of thinking of like, we don't only just get paid from here. We can do like casual jobs on the side, as we did that one day, at the events, you know what I mean? So we were like very open-minded,
Yeah.
Yeah, did you find like there wasn't too many, or was there many of people who had that same kind of thinking pattern as you whilst you were going through that grind?
Well, actually, I think I've always been lucky with finding people like
Right,
that around.
good.
I think because I was quite vocal about it.
Yes, that you were.
I was always quite vocal about it.
Yes,
My mindset has always been very expansive. I love studying.
yes.
If someone is learning something, I'm always like, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah,
what
yeah.
is this? I love to learn so
Yes.
much. So I definitely attracted, I noticed a lot of travelers, like people who had traveled the world.
You told
With
me.
that,
I remember.
yeah, with
Yeah.
that, their mindset was exactly the same as mine. They'd been and traveled the world and seen different things and absorbed different cultures. So yeah, it was like a different caliber of soul.
Yeah. That, and it's funny you mentioned that. I remember when you told me that you had lived outside the UK. I remember when you said that, you were there for, it was 6 months. You spent time in it was
It was
Turkey, isn't it?
longer than. Oh yeah, well, I did 3 years. So I did one year in Istanbul, and then I
Yeah.
came back, and then I did another 2 years. So I was actually working as an au pair over there,
Right.
because I wanted to learn more about my culture.
Yeah.
So yeah, I literally had nothing. I had nothing in my bank account,
Right.
but I knew that I could get out there. I had no doubt in my mind that I could get out there. That's one thing. Since I've been young, I've always known that your thoughts become your reality.
Yep.
And I remember just things were coming towards me about just following your intuition. And I remember within a week I was offered a job in Istanbul, and I was like, I'm going. Yeah. And I remember getting picked up at the airport, and I was like, I'm living my dreams, like my reality, and just everything. I remember some really beautiful moments, having like a swimming pool outside and riding horses, and I met so many amazing people.
Yeah.
And then just before I actually started personal training, I did 6 months in traveling Asia. So I traveled Asia for 6 months. I went backpacking. That was proper, like,
Yeah, to the max.
everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can imagine.
But
yeah.
Whilst I was traveling in Asia, it expanded my mindset and my confidence so much.
Yeah.
That when I came back, I was like, right, that's it. I'm doing personal training. Because I'd always wanted to do it, but I didn't have the guts to do it. So when I come back from traveling, that inspired me so much, because you meet some people that have produced like magic from nothing, like literally. And that was incredible. And it's just, it stuck with me for the rest of my life. Like,
no, that's an amazing story. I try and encourage people on this channel, or even on my platforms, like if you have the ability to travel, don't wait for anyone, because as you can see right here, Nilufer took the intuition to be like, okay, I'm gonna go journey. It didn't wait for anyone. It was like, okay, I need to do this, and went there. And from there, you found that like-minded people, and you also learned different things that helped even improve your knowledge, and be like, okay, we can do this. I can go become a personal trainer.
Yeah. Yeah, traveling is essential.
Nice. It's
Yeah,
amazing. The amount of people I've met in Mexico, and it's like
I bet.
I just feel like in some places, I'm not just saying it's UK. I think especially when you haven't kind of left your kind of, because it's a comfort zone. I'm gonna straight up say it's a comfort zone. I think when you haven't left that, you always feel this kind of entitlement. It's like you will always
Yeah,
be kind of like, well, I'm here, and I think that comes on to the whole you're not really going at like your maximum potential to make something work. Because I know this when, even though I wasn't there, but when you were in Asia, I'm pretty sure you were there and you were killing it. As you were doing, saying you were doing the backpacking. I remember when I first came to Mexico, didn't know no one, no habla español, and I had to make it work. I was like, no, I'm here now. I'd already spent time in Canada, and I was like, I gotta do this. And from there to
yeah,
now, I've been able to sustain it.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. Well, traveling and just in general, when you put yourself in uncomfortable situations, you create like new circuit boards, new wiring in your brain. If you don't step out of your comfort zone, you get stuck in the matrix. You get stuck in the loop of doing the same thing, every day.
every single
And days, weeks, years pass.
yes,
And
awesome.
yeah, it's really important that you push yourself. I'm one of those people where when I get too comfortable, I
Yeah.
get very uncomfortable. I'm sure I've said this to you.
Yeah.
That's like my my birthright quote.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that mindset keeps you growing, and you do have to get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yes.
You really do.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah. And I think I think if you don't even now, like when we were doing personal training, and even now like we're doing our own, this is, I think it's just important just to take that first step, because even just like traveling, it could even just be starting your own business. Say if you had that desire, like, oh, I want to be like a person who shows people how to cook, maybe like a cooking like instructor or tutorials and that. Some people just can't make that first step and be like, okay, I can do this. Maybe the first one may not be so good, but like it's just that perseverance. To just be like, okay, I'm gonna see what was wrong here, and I'm gonna just keep on improving.
Yeah. Well, action crushes fear. You
Yes.
know, for you to be able to move past something that you are fearful of, you need to get closer to it.
Yeah.
The more that you push it away, that space begins to grow and that fear begins to manifest. Okay, so you have to go towards it, and what you do is you minimize that fear because you're starting to realize, okay, actually that was a thought form,
Yeah.
and it's not actually real. This is the thing as well. Perception is one thing that I've realized this year. Perception plays a great role in life.
Oh, big
Oh,
time.
that's a big one.
Huge. Oh
Mm,
man, I think some people need I always wish like I had like a mentor,
yeah,
because like doing a lot of these stuff like journeying to like different territories is, sometimes you need someone who's already been there to tell you stuff just like this. Perception is a
yeah,
huge thing, you know.
yeah. You could have like two people standing in the same queue and they live in two completely different timelines. Or like two people sitting in traffic, one person's going absolutely crazy,
Yeah.
or you'll have one person who's like, great, now I actually get to have some peaceful time with myself and listen to myself think, but the other person is screaming across
Yeah.
the road,
Move out of the way. Yeah.
Yeah. But finding people that you can receive information on to help you move forward is also very
It's it's
important as
it's it's
well.
key. It's key.
Mm-hmm.
It's the most important thing. For sure.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, because we covered a lot. Like we covered like being in like the fitness industry. Kind of like stepping away from traditions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Finding our own paths and that. With now, especially like we're in the new normal now. So people have like transferred now to doing the online making, their business online and that. What is your like for like with what you're doing now, like what is your like dream, like what do you see like in the next, let's say 2 years or so, like what do you see it as?
So I see myself as very free. I see
Right.
myself as very free. I'm finding that the more I am speaking my truth for who I am and what my soul represents, I'm attracting things that I want, and I'm ascending very quickly.
Right.
So my vision is that I am free in this world, and I know that I will be free. But yeah, it's just to help people really ascend, to help people identify what they are feeling and what they are going through. I work with very much of the unseen, so things that people, they have this perception that they need to see something to believe it.
Yeah.
And what I'm really focusing on is that not everything that you can see is actually happening. There's a lot of things going on that you can't see. So it's just helping people tap more into their intuition and their feeling rather than the physical, which has been definitely displayed this year, that people need to practice more, like listening to your intuition and your gut, and you're connecting your head and your heart together. But yeah, ultimately coaching people into finding themselves.
Yeah. It's amazing because I think a lot of some people don't know the potential that they have in them. Everyone has their own different talents. As we spoke about, there's different specialities that each personal trainer could have in the gym. Everyone has their own kind of skill that they can just
your own blueprint.
Yeah, that they can manifest. And I think it's just some people they just need someone to just basically be like, yeah, you can do this. You are good enough, and they just have to just
definitely.
go. Like I said, one of the books I have to recommend, because this is one this is one book I got like when the lockdown just hit. It's called 10X by Grant Cardone. So like
Grant Cardone,
oh
yeah, okay.
yeah, you sings. I know some people have different thoughts about him. But I will truly say like it did. Like I'm not saying it was one of the things like that was essential for me to be in here right now, but it did play a part because I forgot about like the Grant Cardone character, but what he was saying, of like just that whole thing of like you got one shot. If you are like giving like 100%, at least you can live with no regrets. You can say like, yeah, I gave everything to go in Mexico. I gave everything to go when I went South Asia, as you did. I did everything. And you can be like, okay, whatever happens, at least I can say I gave my all. And that's what I got out.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's what I got.
But with that as well, I feel like my intuition is like yes. But that's also a bit of like a generational wounding where we feel like we have to like really give. And what I'm trying to teach people at the moment is to tap more into the feminine energy, which is to be able to receive and to know and to slow down and listen to that intuitive whisper, to recognize when there is an opportunity in front of you, because when you are go, you can often miss things that are meant for you. That's one thing that I've really had to work on, is that I was very my masculine energy when I was doing personal training. It's very action orientated, you have to push. But again, as for what we were saying earlier, is that doesn't always necessarily mean that you get results, right? But we was really taught that in our field. And it doesn't necessarily mean that at all, really. It's more about having intention and aligning your energy with that, so that you start to attract what it is that you want.
Yes. It's a way that I like relate this to. I think if something is already quality, it sells itself. So like you don't have to, as we were taught in the personal training, it's like, okay, we're on the floor. He's not with someone. He's not someone. She's not with someone. Okay, go, talk. It's just that burst. That whole like it was sort of like cold calling. You know, like
Yeah.
if you've ever done that, I did that for a while. It's like I had to like, you know, really, really push to get these customers. But as you were talking about the energy, I just believe, you know, when you're just like, and I think that comes with the confidence as well. When you know something is like, you know, you're even yourself, you know yourself, you're a quality, you're a good person, you know that people will just naturally attract as with your business.
Yeah, definitely. But also as well that you don't always have to be totally ready to go after what you want.
Yes.
That's another thing that I'm realizing
Yeah.
is that you don't have to know everything. It's okay to accept that the more you know, you realize you don't know anything. The more I'm doing this spiritual work, I'm realizing, damn,
Yeah.
there's whole other worlds out there that people have no idea
Big time.
about.
Yeah, there is. I remember with you, every time we used to have our like, you know, chats, you know, we always used to talk about the universe, you know, how it's such a like a big, huge, you know, filled with stars, galaxies, planets, you name it. And you know, there is so much out there that people, you know, only wish they knew, you know. So as you said, it's not you know, to start off on your journey, you don't need to know everything. But I believe like, you know, as time going through it, you will gain like certain like kind of badges, you know, on learning stuff.
Badges of honor.
That's it.
I've been to hell and come back.
I've been to
Level 2.
level 3.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. That's amazing. Honestly. I wanna thank you again, Nilufer, for taking time. You know, busy schedule to doing this, you know. Nilufer, lastly, where can like if someone is considering like getting, you know, coaching, you know, spiritually like kind of like, you know, advice now, where can they find you like on social media?
So at the moment I am just on Instagram.
Right.
I know there's a lot of socials out there, but I'm honing it in on Instagram for now. So my name on there is nilufer.intuitive. So I'm sure we can just put that in.
That will just be inside.
Below.
And we've got that, and I'll also put that in the description. You know, so you can just click on that link. You want to get in contact with Nilufer, you can just like go direct to that. You know, go check it out. You know, but but yes. Thanks again on this, you know. I hope, you know, the audience like really loved this you know, video. You know, it's very you know, I said this before, you know, it was very helpful, and you know, it just like it kind of got me to like this mindset of thinking like, okay, you know, we can be the masters of our own, you know, kind of future. You know, so having those conversations, bouncing ideas, and kind of going in the same pattern, you know, of where we need to go, you know, to kind of help, you know, kind of both of us get into this position now, you know, where we're, you know, just fighting for freedom, basically, you know, and we're staying. Exactly. So, all right. So thanks a lot for everyone watching this, you know, from Richie Rich is peace, and from
Nilufer, I will speak to you guys soon. Take care.
Have a nice day and take care. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.